Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's May and today we're going to be wrapping up 2020. Can't believe it's the end of the year. On some levels it feels like it was the longest year ever, and then it also feels like it went by really fast. I'm not even gonna do all the BS about, oh, what a year, so unprecedented, blah blah blah, we never expected this. Okay, like, we get it, everyone knows that. Let's just jump in. I'm gonna do kind of the same thing that I did last year where I talk about my kind of summary of the year, what I learned, what I did, etc., and then kind of go over my goals for 2021 as well. And I'll also be going over the goals that I had for 2020 and how I did on them. So let's actually start with that. My goals were to save 50% of my paychecks, which I did save much more than that. I feel like I should give myself credit, like, okay, yes, I accomplished a goal, but like that would actually have been really terrible if I didn't save 50% of my paychecks. Like, what would I have been spending my money on? Like, my parents pretty much supported me when I was in college. I had to pay for a couple things here and there, but for the most part, I didn't really need to spend any money, so it was just fun expenses, and I've been living at home ever since. So I have a job, I've been saving almost all of the money that I've made. Of course, I've done some shopping, got some new furniture, etc., but definitely saved more than 50%. Goal number 2 is to graduate. We did that. Didn't get to walk. We'll get to that, obviously. But yeah, I graduated from college, so I have my degree now. Got my degree in creative writing, English creative writing with a double minor in French and linguistics, and I said that I wanted to live in the present moment during my last semester, and especially while I was on campus, I feel like I definitely did that and really enjoyed my time at school. I wanted to finish the first draft of Spring Break book and complete another draft of my first book and start sending it out to agents, and I did 2/3 of that, which I really didn't realize how long that was all going to take. I was like, oh, I'm going to get all that done in the spring semester with my professor, and then it was like, honey, no, like, it's going to take so much longer. But I actually did finish a first draft of my second book ever, and a third draft of my first book, because I did my second draft in January and my third draft in fall. So, and I'm going to start sending it out to agents next year, because we didn't get to that part, because I still need to do another sweep through, and I'll talk about that too if you haven't even seen my videos, because I've talked about that before. And then my other goals were to run twice a week, which I was pretty consistent about at the beginning of the year, and then it got hot, so obviously I couldn't do that anymore. I did some HIIT workouts and stuff, and then I kind of started it up again in the fall. The main reason I wanted to do that was to get my endurance up so that I could become Zumba certified, which of course I didn't do because there is no way to do that right now, and no one needs a Zumba teacher when there are no gyms open. So unfortunately, that has all not happened. I don't know what this year would have been like if it was normal. It's weird to think about that. I would have had my last choir concert. I would have had that closure of having those last days on campus. I would have gotten to celebrate graduation with my family. I would have come home and potentially have gotten a job more in my field, teaching. I don't know. And I would have gone to Zumba. We have a community center at the park near our house. That's the Zumba class I always went to when I was home. And I would have gone there and I would have gotten to do it. It's really sad to think about all the things that I missed, that everyone missed out on. I'll go over a summary and then I'll kind of go over in general how I felt. This started out well. In January, I was at home doing the second draft of my book, went back to school. I just was really happy at the beginning of the semester. I was really excited to be back. The spring before I'd been in Paris, so it was my first spring in my apartment, and I hung out with Grace and really liked my classes. I just had a really good feeling about everything. I was doing directed studies, taking less units, so it wasn't as stressful. I did Pilates, which was really fun to try that new kind of exercise. It really kicked my butt, but I'm really glad that I took that class because I have really enjoyed doing Pilates throughout this whole year, even after that. Midterm season was really stressful despite not having that many units. I remember being just so stressed out because it was basically all for my linguistics class. There were these study questions that I didn't realize that we actually had to have like answers to. I thought they were discussion questions for class, which was totally my bad. I mean, this class was super disorganized, but I probably should have, you know, thought about that a little bit more. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do all of these study questions, and we had a paper and a take-home midterm. I was literally stressed out of my mind and just feeling really burnt out from running around all the time, because I was also, you know, working. So I had class Tuesday, Thursday, work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I was just a little bit burnt out, and literally that is when everything happened. I remember I've always had this thought during midterms where it's like, I just need time to stop for like a couple days so that I can catch up on everything, and then I'll be okay. And it actually did. Not in the way I would have wanted it to, but classes were canceled right in the thick of it. And I used that time and spring break to catch up on all my work, and I felt so much better after that. I came home. It was a very difficult decision to go home, but I just realized that there was no point in staying on campus for literally no reason, because all my classes were online, work was going to be moved online. There was nothing keeping me there, and everything was really scary at that time because it was just so uncertain. There was no toilet paper, like we really didn't know what was gonna happen. Everyone was panic buying food, like shelves were empty. It was a pretty scary time, and I just wanted to be home with my parents, and it was most definitely the right decision. I have no regrets about that, zero. So my dad came and picked me up in a van, loaded all my stuff in, went home. Luckily I was able to get my graduation pictures done right before I left by one of my friends, and I took like a really quick walk around campus once that was done. It's like, oh my god, I'm saying goodbye. And it was just really sad. And then I finished the semester at home, and at that point, once I, you know, gotten caught up in everything through spring break, I didn't really have too much to do. I was just working on my directed studies stuff. I had my grammar class. Pilates was online. I had to do a project for that, and then I just had a really big paper for my linguistics class. We were doing class observations, so then I was doing observations on Zoom, and then we had to write a paper about that, and I just like dragged it out a lot, and then I had work at the same time just on Zoom. And it was definitely not my favorite. It's actually crazy how at the beginning of all of this, I mean, at first we thought we were going to be back at school by April 20th. That's what they said. And then it was like, no, rest of the semester's online. And I was like, I can't believe that it ruined my senior year for me. But I feel so much worse for the people that were a year below me, because they got the part of their junior year and all of their senior year ruined. They don't get to graduate either in most places, at least, you know, in California especially. It's just so sad. I just feel so bad for everyone who got their college experience cut into because of this. And I guess in the scheme of things, I didn't even lose as much time as most people did, but I will never actually get over the fact that I didn't get to graduate and have the end of my senior year on campus. I'll never get over it, and that's okay, because this year taught me that it's okay for things to suck sometimes. When everything started, it was kind of this realization that I'm still allowed to be upset, even though other people have it worse. Of course other people have it worse. Someone's always gonna have it worse. There are people who are frontline workers, there are people who have lost loved ones, etc. But for those of us who just have things like school plays, sports, graduations, college, that are being disrupted, it still sucks. We are still losing important moments of our lives. I know that I got the degree, I know that I did it, but I wanted to walk and have a graduation. It wasn't even gonna be the most exciting thing ever. My high school graduation, I had a very fond memories of that. I was with my 3 best friends. It was very meaningful. It was a very proud moment. I was one of the valedictorians. I had worked my butt off to get there. For college, I didn't really have that many friends in my major in my year, so it wasn't like, oh my god, I can't wait to graduate with so-and-so. Like, I was gonna be alone, but it still would have just been such a proud moment to walk across the stage, get the diploma, shake the president's hand, etc. I wanted that. I did end up getting kind of that closure when my mom and I went back down at the end of the semester to pick up the rest of my things from the apartment that I had left for communal use, because people were moving in to take my spot and my roommate's spot. So I had to get everything out of there, and we stayed at my aunt's house, and I took a really long walk around campus, and I listened to music. I like planned the playlist out. It's called Campus Walk on Spotify. I think I have it on public. And I just specifically walked around all the buildings that I had had class or work in. And sometimes I just stood there and looked at them and just thought about all the memories that they held at like walk-up staircases to try to look in windows and stuff. It was really therapeutic, and it did give me some sense of closure. I always loved walking around campus when it was empty. I loved my campus walks that I would go on when I was there. So yeah, doing that was really good. I was actually wearing this exact outfit, I think. Yeah, so then I started my job. For everything that happened this year, I am really grateful that I did get a job. It literally fell into my lap, and which I'm so grateful for, because applying for jobs is hell and takes forever. My dad's old coworker from one of his previous jobs works for BetterHelp, and they needed people to help onboard the counselors. So that's what I do. The role is called a counselor onboarding specialist, and I have video meetings with them and help move them through the hiring pipeline. Does it have anything to do with my field? No, I'm not using my degree, but I honestly think that next year when I'm in France teaching, I will be glad that I took a year off from the academic world. I'm essentially just in the corporate world right now. And while I wish that I could have been, you know, building my skill set more with teaching English, I think that having the time off was probably gonna be a good thing in the end, and I actually need to submit that application so I can actually go. But yeah, it's not like my dream job or anything, but I'm just so grateful to have something that I can do from, you know, anywhere. I don't have to worry about it shutting down. I don't have to go out in the world and wear a mask. Of course, I don't really like the fact that I have no separation between work and home. On the other side of that, I get up and I sit here in this exact place and work all day. So I really do think that having a separation between work and home is something that's important for me, and unfortunately there's just nothing I can do about that right now. But yeah, that's how that's been going. A couple of highlights of the year were going to Pismo Beach with my parents. Super relaxing trip. It was the perfect balance of activities and relaxing. We went on a really nice hike at Bluff Park, and we also went into Slow and walked around downtown. I shopped a little bit, ate some good food, took naps, walked on the beach, and I also got some really good writing done when I was there. Really found that having a change of scenery is important for getting writing done, but now there is literally nowhere to go. Literally nowhere. You can't even sit outside at Starbucks. Nowhere. I have no change of scenery now, but the times that I was able to get one, it was really helpful. And the other time was when Jillian and I went on our writing retreat, which I'm really hoping we can squeeze another one in before I leave next year. We got an Airbnb in Truckee. Of course, it wasn't like, oh my god, it was so fun, because it was work. We were there to work. It wasn't a vacation, so I had to really discipline myself to get done what I had told myself I was gonna do instead of just goofing off and watching YouTube. We didn't watch movies. We played a couple games when we took breaks. I went on some really nice walks. It was a hike kind of in the forest across the street, and I listened to folklore, which was perfect. And I got a lot done, and then I ended up finishing that draft later in the summer. So I am proud of myself for doing those things that I accomplished. It was not easy to finish those drafts of my books, and of course I'm looking back and I'm like, oh, like I could have done more. I always could have done more, but at least I got that done, okay? I'm 22 and I have 2 finished novels. And that's a pretty cool thing to say, because I couldn't say that at the beginning of this year. I only had 1, and it was a really rough draft of it. And now, of course, that's how I feel about the second one, because it's a first draft. But that's always something that I want to keep working on. I also built my YouTube channel more. I can't say I read a lot of books, because I really didn't. I really lost interest in reading this year. I am just not into it anymore, and I think I have to come to terms with that. I think part of my identity has always been, oh, I love reading. But do I really though? There's always something I'd rather do than read a book, even an audiobook, because that's the last thing I would do right now is listen to an audiobook, because if I go for a walk, I want to listen to music, and there's no commute. There's nothing where I would listen to an audiobook. I'm not going to listen to it when I'm walking around the house. So yeah, there's that. I mean, yeah, overall this year wasn't that good. Was it good for anyone? Let me know in the comments if this was like the best year ever for you. I don't know. Like I said, it's weird to think about how different it would have been if it had been normal. I don't know what would have happened. I was always gonna stay home for a year before going to France. I mean, not always. I made that decision last fall to try to fix my stomach problems, which I have been going to a doctor for that, and we're trying a couple things, so we'll be continuing that into 2021. Hopefully there will be some improvement before I leave. But anyway, the point of me saying this is that I didn't have anything necessarily disrupted by COVID. Like, I didn't have, you know, an internship or a job lined up that I was like gonna move or something. So that really wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I just stayed here. But I did just find this year boring. It's just so boring to get up, work, watch YouTube videos, work on my YouTube videos, write, go to bed, run errands, do it all again. Like, it's just so boring when you have nothing to look forward to. It is. And I am an introvert. Anyone who knows me knows that I am super, super introverted. I need so much time to recharge on my own, by myself, to feel good. But I miss social interaction, and I can't imagine actually living alone. Like, I live at home with my parents, so I at least have some kind of human interaction. But I've found that the times that I have had social interaction, I do feel recharged afterward, which is such a weird experience. Truly, like, when after Jillian and I met up to exchange Christmas gifts, I was like, wow, I feel energized and happy and alive. That's just an entirely new feeling, you know? And I also, you know, looking back in college, I'm just even more grateful for the times that I chose to go out and have fun with friends, and every time that I said yes to going to a restaurant or downtown or to the beach or something, or to the common room to have a game night. That time we had a party at the apartment. All of those times, the last time I think I like went out was, not that I really went out in college, but I'm just saying like out of the apartment, not like night clubbing. In Paris, I went out a couple times. But on Valentine's Day, I was like, I kind of just want to stay in and watch the new To All the Boys I've Loved Before movie, but Grace and her roommates are going to dinner, like, I don't know. And I decided to go, and it was really fun. And now you can't do any of that anymore, so I'm just so glad for those times that I did choose to be social, because now the only option is staying home and watching Netflix. There is no other option. And I saw a TikTok about this that put it so well. Like, I miss having the option of going out and choosing to stay home. Like, now there's not even a choice. Like, I still would probably say no to going out, but I wish that I could, like, know that other people were going out and choose to stay home. Which was really funny. But yeah, that's overall how I would describe it. My mental health hasn't been the best. Whose has? I mean, it's just so off. And to be totally honest, I don't know how different my life would be right now if all this wasn't going on, because I would probably have a different job, because I don't know if they would have needed me for this job, so I don't know that I would have gotten this job, because the reason they needed me is because there were so many therapists applying, because no one could go to therapy in person anymore, so everyone was using this. So I don't think there would have been that rush to teletherapy. So I probably would have had a different job, like I said, maybe something more in my field with teaching. I would have had coworkers and stuff, probably. I would have had more of a social interaction there. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. Kind of rambly, but yeah, that's how this year's been. I'm not trying to shoot too high for 2021 because nothing is gonna change when the calendar goes to January 1st. I want to continue saving as much money as possible. I just know that moving to France is going to be expensive as heck, so I have to save a lot of money for that, and traveling and everything. I would like to try to go to therapy. I was just doing research on this last night because that was another thing I wanted to do when I was home for the year, and I haven't done it yet because for so long I was like, I don't want to do teletherapy. I don't want yet another thing that I'm doing in my bedroom with no separation. I just don't want to do that, and I'd have to wear my headset because my laptop's microphone doesn't work, and it would just be awkward and not the same as going in person. I mean, it's really becoming clear to me that there is not going to be an option to go in and do therapy like normal. That's not an option. It's not going to be an option for a really long time. Yes, they're coming out with a vaccine, but I really don't think anything's going to change until like summer. And then I'm leaving. So why not do something? Like, it's better than nothing, even if it's not exactly what I want. And I would like to do a second draft of the spring break book, the book that I did a first draft of this year, and clean that up. And then I would also like to do a sweep through, which is my January goal, of book 1. So I wrote in the third draft and added a lot of words and then try to cut some words and go over all those parts that I wrote for the first time, because it'll be a little bit rough. I'm not making any huge structural changes, nothing crazy, just a couple things that I have on a list that I wanted to tweak, and otherwise just making the writing better, cutting unnecessary words, and then start submitting it to agents because I would like to get it moving and to go to France. Those are my main goals, and I really would like to make an exercise and eating goal, but I just feel like it's not realistic. I should. I'm gonna think about that one. I would ideally do some form of exercise every day, even if it's just a walk or like something really quick. I was doing pretty good about it in the summer, and then it just kind of deteriorated where I'm just not doing it very consistently. I don't know if it would help if I had specific days that I was like, okay, we're targeting this, you know, like it's arm day or something, because I usually just follow YouTube videos that do like Boho Beautiful, Mad Fit and stuff. Maybe I will try to do that and have like specific things. So I will figure that out. But yeah, another thing that I will just say here is that I am going to be taking a little bit of a break from this YouTube channel. I have not given myself a break since I started this YouTube channel sophomore year. I've been doing at least one video a week ever since then, and I'm starting a music channel. It's called May Loves Music. It'll go live in January, and I have a lot of work to do for that. I'm gonna be doing album reviews. I'm not abandoning this channel. I definitely am gonna vlog when I'm in France. You know, I keep saying when I'm in France, Okay, if I get in, hopefully I get in. I have a TEFL certification. I don't really know why I wouldn't get in, but I shouldn't be too cocky, so yeah. If I'm in France, I will vlog for you guys, vlog a week in my life teaching, travel vlogs, all the things. And I really do enjoy vlogging and making videos. I haven't lost my passion for that, but I'm just finding if I'm trying to put out a video a week on both channels, it's 2 videos a week, filming and editing with working. It's just not, it's too much. And I'm also gonna be having like my writing goals and stuff. So I'm gonna take a break from this. So I will be coming back. I'll be doing vlogs here and there, sit down videos, writing updates, etc. Let me know what videos you guys would like to see. As always, I am open to your input. But yeah, I'm just gonna be taking a little break to focus on some other projects. It doesn't mean that I love this channel any less or that I love videos any less. I just have to focus my energy on some other things for a while. Thank you guys, as always, for your support, and yeah, just let me know if you have anything you want to see. That's it, man. Thanks for watching. I feel like this video was kind of chaotic, but so is 2020, so there you go. Hope you're having a good day or night whenever you're watching this. Let me know what your favorite memory from the year was, and what you're proud of, and what you're looking forward to in 2021, if there is anything to look forward to. Okay, this is depressing. Thanks for watching. Bye.